things won't bore us. Hopefully. Welcome to the Podasaurus. So listen up, it's time for Podasaurus.
Alright, good evening everyone. Welcome back to Podasaurus. My name is Lou, and joining me today we have Ken.
Hello.
And, TimberTaft.
Hey, it's me, TimberTaft.
Yeah, I liked how you, last time completely forgot my name and just paused for like a good 2 weeks. And you sounded really worried.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what
We're back with the Podasaurus. And I'm joined with the, and then you just like waffled for a minute and still not sure completely what you were getting at with that one. I don't know, did we get any? No one commented on, no one commented on
No,
that.
we have Ken and, the host, with the most,
Actually, I'm gonna look. Do we have any comments on the last video? 4 weeks ago. That's not. Those are no. We don't need ones I haven't responded to. We got one, and then actually it says two because I commented on that one. It'd be like that sometimes. I've gotten like more on my world record runs for like Clock Tower, which is surprising because it's a 5-minute run, and there's no reason for it.
oh no.
People want to see that 5-minute video instead of an hour-long epic.
I've been trying to like slowly narrow this down to like an hour instead of like an hour and a half or longer, and it's like, I don't know, might be more detrimental to my cause. Just let me rant forever, I guess.
Yeah. Can you imagine what this podcast would be like if we somehow edited it to a concise, like 20-minute episode?
Oh my
There'd be
god!
so little.
There'd be nothing.
We don't talk about enough. I mean, we don't talk about enough for it to really be 2 hours long. It just is.
No, don't say that.
Like,
I think
since...
every word that comes out of our mouths is very important.
Mouths. Well, how many times do I like talk about the same shit all the time? I could literally just cut out like all the repeated content and really make this a lot shorter. And make it seem like Ken talked a lot more.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would. But then everybody would be like, give us the director's cut.
That is the director's cut. I cut all the fluff. Alright, so how are you guys doing this week?
I'm on
It's a-
notice.
I'll go with you, because...
I'm on notice with the coronavirus right now.
Oh my god,
Really?
is this for real though?
Yeah, mostly because there's a Japanese tourist that visited Hawaii
No.
and he had the virus. So like everyone's like on panic attack right now.
Are you stuck at home now for a while?
No. I can go to work still. It's just we don't know I won't know until next week possibly if something happens.
Is it that long of an incubation period?
It's up to 2 weeks.
Yikes.
Well, don't get sick, I guess.
That's not at all related to the cruise ship thing, right?
No, this is a totally separate incident.
Okay.
The cruise ship is like for Japan, between Japan and China, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So what's sad is the hotel that person stayed at is the Hilton Hawaiian Village, the biggest hotel that we have in Hawaii.
Ooh.
So
is that place like locked down now?
like all the employees that were near that room and any like guests that were staying around those rooms are on kind of more of a serious notice than what
wow.
we are.
That hotel's just like basically the one from Dead Island now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I had to deal with 700 cancellations within the next couple weeks because Japan is blasting Hawaii saying, yeah, if you go there, you're not probably gonna get sick. And Japanese people, whoever go to Hawaii here, are getting notices from their job saying, well, you're not going to be able to come back to work for a couple weeks after that without pay.
Oh, God. Imagine them not being able to go back to work, too, just at that. If they didn't have to do it without pay, just you can't come back to work, a lot of them would just be like, no, that's my one thing I like in life.
This was my purpose.
This was my purpose. Yeah.
All of them are like, thank God, now a reason to not spend time with my family.
Yeah, So
And you think I'm joking? I'm not.
yeah, no, I totally understand. So there's certain things that is possibly gonna happen within the next 2 months or so.
At this point,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Wait, I'm interrupting you. Go ahead and finish.
So I'm going to Japan at the end of April. So there might be a chance that I might be quarantined. Also.
Please don't die.
Well, Luna is gonna come with, so she might die
She's
too.
going to Japan with you?
Oh man,
She would because she's small.
She's gonna bring
No,
her.
she's small. She's real tiny.
Yeah, she's gonna bring her husband. So
Oh, this is finally their honeymoon.
yeah, this is their honeymoon.
Good place to go for it.
I was like, how does it feel? People come to where you live to experience the best vacation of their lives.
Meh.
That's literally your job, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's my
To make sure
my
people-
literal job is. Oh hey, so I have a wedding that I need to plan, or this is my honeymoon, or this is where we celebrate our ceremony. So you need it to be tip-top shape 100% of the time. And of course, now that everyone is having coronavirus scares, it's
True. It's like
amazing.
it better be perfect.
They're just gonna cancel it and have to go now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to become.
I need to stop fidgeting with things. I picked up my one Bionicle figure that I have nearby, and I keep messing with it, and it's gonna pick up on the microphone.
I mean, we
Which
can be fidget brothers. I have my little wedding Bowser
Yeah.
that I've been touching the spikes on.
Yeah.
It's the the most recent reboot of Bionicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Gali one, the blue
Other
one.
Gali. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want to get one more of those because I had a constant idea for the past 5 years because I bought it and then I moved and then I just had ideas to continue mess with it, and I found it again recently and those ideas came flooding back in my head. I'm like, I can't eBay Bionicles. I buy other dumb shit on the internet. I need to not buy Bionicles on eBay. Actually, how much do they sell this one for? Oh, let me see. Bionicle. Oh, look, the person on eBay didn't respond. Let my thing expire. You're a dick. Bionicle, Gali. Most recent one. If it's $1, I'm gonna buy it. I want the new one. I don't want these old looking ones where she looks like a hippopotamus.
With that newfound disposable income from not buying Armageddon, Spec Ops,
No, I bought-
the Geddon.
Okay, I bought Apocalypse, which is kind of what you're referencing, but I did not buy Covert Ops Nuclear Strike.
Dawn.
The thing, I don't know, Nuclear Dawn. And the thing is, I could just steal these things off the internet, but I'm trying to buy them because I want a physical copy. And then there's just the whole world's just no, just steal it off the internet. Just steal it off the internet. I don't want to do that. I want to own it.
I know. It's weird. I've gotten more sensitive to the idea of the legality of owning games as I grew older. When I was, it's just because you're an adult and you're I have actual money to spend now. Because as a teenager, you're there's no way I can convince my parents to actually buy all the games I want to actually try. So you'd be well, that's what the internet's for. There are several games that were like that I'm At this point, I've legally purchased every game that I ever played that way, unless they were god awful. Even then, I still consider I tried. If you know the Bionic Commando series, I definitely played the reboot of that way, and
It's so bad.
I had fun. It's bad in the best way. It's so ridiculous.
I kind of want to replay it just because of the twist in that game being so incredibly stupid.
Are we allowed to spoil it because it's
Okay, skip ahead 2 minutes if you don't want to hear spoilers for Bionic Commando. 2009?
Bionic Commando, the
360.
reboot. Yeah.
All right, so
You go ahead.
go ahead. All right, so in the game, the main character is pissed off and I guess defected from the military. Is that what happened? And he's just he's like, where's my wife? And he's just mad this whole time. He's like, where's my wife? He's going through with this gigantic arm, punching shit. Like he looks like a teenager who just discovered internet porn with his arm kits just so oversized
And the dreads.
like meaty and.
Because they had
And, like-
they had to upgrade him from his 80s I'm literally Duke Nukem / Arnold Schwarzenegger to guy with dreads for some reason.
He's more relatable, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
But the whole time in this game, you're like looking for his wife, and then I think it turns out towards the end, this character, this gruff general, who I'm pretty sure was voiced by Steve Bloom, he's like, "Your arm is your wife." Because for some reason in that universe, in order to make this bionic bionic limbs or appendages for these people, they had to have someone with like a strong emotional bond to you. So his wife let herself be murdered and turned into a bionic arm to be fitted to her husband to go off to war or something. I don't know why he had to have this arm as well. Like he's like, well, he needs this arm, and you know. So she lets herself get killed to be turned into an arm for him. And he spends like 10 hours in the game trying to find his wife just to find out she was by his side the whole time. And that's the twist.
I mean, I just like imagining the implications of your arm is your wife as the subject matter of your game. Like, it's just, you know, you're like, who's your lover? Oh, it's, right here, my left hand. It's fine.
Does it still count as masturbation at that point? Or no.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we've legalized marrying your hand, but I mean, maybe someone out there might be into that. That might be like the next movement.
What if his wife's name was actually Jill? And then he looks like, so who's your date tonight? Oh, it's like, it's Jill here. And are people thinking he's making a joke, or do they know that his wife is his arm?
Why not Rhonda or Letty? Or Laura?
What? Laura Bailey?
No. If you're gonna marry your arm, you should marry or name it either a R sounding name or a L sounding name, depending on which arm you marry to.
The politics of marrying your arm. Oh my god.
For example, if I married my right arm, I'd call her Rhonda or something.
Rhonda.
Yeah, Rhonda. What? I'm not gonna be like Renoa or something like that.
Renona.
It is Rhonda.
Rhonda. Or
Oh my
Rena.
god, these Bionicle figures are so expensive. I just looked at the price.
Yeah, because they don't
The one
make
I
them
want's like-
anymore.
I know, but I'm like, why would this be expensive? It's a Bionicle.
Because not only is it Bionicle, it's freaking Legos. And if a set is out of print, they don't make the set, so it's much more desirable. Like, for example, if I wanted the traditional Star Wars Legos Pod Racer set, that's like $400.
But all the other ones are cheap. It's just this most recent set's expensive.
Because I think they only made like a limited amount. Because I didn't even see that many of the 2016, the rebranded, rebooted one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one where they totally ditched all their old weapons. Yeah, I had all new ones.
Like I liked it. Like look at here. I'll send you a picture. This is what it looks like.
I don't think
I have one of these, and I really just want another one because I have ideas to combine the sets together.
Yeah, I have the newest set, and that has the hammer and the claws and stuff like that.
Some are a couple things put together, but there's not many of those.
I don't think I ever actually got any non-villain Bionicle figures. I have the two sets of
2 sets to every story.
yeah, like the little ball guys that were in like second generation, and then the third generation version of them, and then they're evolved like walking form. All three of
they
those.
didn't evolve. They were the was it the Borak?
The Borak, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Borak.
And then they had like Metallic's version of them, which were the same
like the
ones, but with,
Borak
like
cowl or
different
something.
colors.
Yeah, it's like their leader version or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the
It's
Rakshi.
the Borak Kai, that's what it
Rakshi.
is. The Rakshi. Ooh, the Rakshi is amazing.
I love the Rakshi.
I still have those. I think I have all my Bionicles somewhere But like those were actually really cool, lanky figures.
Yeah, so I
I
had
bought all the way up into.
all the Earth Element ones. So like every Earth Element one that came out, I had it. Even the Rakshi ones.
I had. Here, I'm like looking here. What sets I had? Can I just have a list of the ones that came out? Oh, they were the. Let's see. Where are they? Okay, so I had the original set that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Nuva set.
Mm-hmm.
I had Taka Nuva and his big whale thing, and I had what was his name? Who was the big bad? Makuta?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I had Makuta or Makuta, whatever his name was. I had those, and then I had the giant crabs. The gigantic dinosaur things. If on the back they had a trigger and they would like lunge forward and bite.
Yeah,
I had those. I got a lot of those like when they were like marked down too, because I didn't spend full price on the crabs. I think it was like an open box with nothing missing for like $10, and those are the ones with the controllers. And then I had all like the little village chieftains, and then all the McDonald's ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the little chieftains. Those things were cute.
I had the little chieftains, their version of being Toa in the past.
Yep.
I had all of those. The Rakshi, the little villagers for that set as well, like that series. And I feel like I had one more set of things, but I can't remember now. I used to have all the plastic containers, but I eventually had to abandon them when I moved, like a lot of them.
Yeah, I still have. The
I was
plastic
always so
Right.
nervous about losing the little larva in the
Yeah.
like rock.
Oh, the
containers.
Kana?
Yeah.
I collected the masks too.
Oh yeah, same here.
I
So, like,
have
the Borak ones. Like I still have the container for the Borak ones. I made sure to have the butt connector things so that they hang from the top. I don't know how to like say it.
the butt holder thing.
Yeah. Because how the container was supposed to look like the holder that they were in the series, and then when the cocoon broke, they dropped down from the thing. That's how it's supposed to look like.
All the canisters were like in-universe things, like the Toa, the original ones, like they descended from the sky in theirs, and like I have like a disc game somewhere of it.
Yeah,
They
I
descended
had
from the sky, crash landed, and like the parts blew out of the container, and they just like somehow got themselves together.
Yeah, like I still have the original DC comics that they had.
Those
I
are
had
so
some of those
good.
somewhere.
I don't even remember.
Did you ever play the Oh, go ahead.
I don't even remember. I remember back during that time. I guess this is just going to be a big Bionicle nostalgia trip. But they had
fine.
it was a dial-up. When we still had dial-up internet, I would load the Bionicle website, and they had like this interactive island that you could just go through. It was like basically a
Yeah, the online game.
It was so good.
What was it called? Matoran Adventures? What was it called?
Yeah, I think it was something along those lines. Let me go check.
Yeah, I have to look this up now. Bion game online. I wonder if someone has that archived.
Matanui.
online game.
Yeah, that sounds right. Which I think Matanui is just the name of the island, but does this still work? Well, Adobe Flash is blocked, and soon it will no longer exist. So I don't know about that one.
I think it's gone, but I think someone's archived all of it.
I would hope so. That was a pretty fun experience.
And they had some games for it. The game for like the GameCube? That one kind of sucked because you played as some of the Toa as normal ones, and then some of them as Toa Nuva, and it wasn't as fun. Like you didn't get to play as every character in the same style. But I remember playing the online one. The online game was super fun. And one day, like there was just a problem with the server, and I thought it wiped my data, and I was so sad.
There's a speed run of it. There's an any % run of Matanui. Done in
the game?
Hold on. Am I reading this right? That's a 40-hour speed run. No, 40-minute speed run. That's a lot better. I was like, I think I beat it faster than that when I played.
It's 100% speedrun.
I also had the not very good Mask of Light game, and I still have the DVD of the Mask of Light movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's what I was thinking of. Mask of Light game. Yeah, I think this was when it was on the GameCube and PS2 and Xbox.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and I had the movie. I remember buying the movie. It was like $30, that piece of shit.
I remember
It was on DVD.
I remember it was something that I watched with my folks present, and they were like, "It was a cute, good movie." I'm like, looking back, and I'm like, I highly doubt that you enjoyed your time with this, Mom
I
and
hated
Dad.
how they did it because if you remember this, I'll send you this picture.
Yeah. I had
The
that
mask,
too.
the mask didn't have anything covering the mouth part, so they would talk.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Oh yeah. It was so weird seeing that happen in the movie.
All the characters in this movie look like the Power Rangers movie Megazord. Look at this. I remember I'm like, oh my god, this would be a Bionicle movie. And then like I'm looking at this. Look at that.
I don't know if they. I feel like we have to like do a representation for the audience because they can't look at these. But
No.
no,
Unless you want to edit the video together for it. If I can remember, I will edit together things in the video for Bionicle.
Cool.
I will try to remember.
Cool. That's the only thing. I don't want people to feel left out. Like this is
Well, Google Bionicle. I don't know what to tell you. This
Yeah,
is
all
a
right.
video. This is only a video because it's free to upload it on YouTube. But like I can't because then some people I'm going to put up a download link. Oh yeah, from going forward, I'm going to put up a Dropbox link for every single one for the MP3 because SoundCloud costs too much money to use.
no, that's absolutely
It's
fair.
it's like $16 a month for like 1 to 2 podcasts depending on what goes on.
Yeah, there's no problem posting it to YouTube. I mean, I think it's honestly the best platform for reachability, regardless.
I just wish you could download like an audio only version from YouTube, but they want you to use their YouTube Premium or whatever.
Yeah, but you do always have the option of just adding a downloadable link to like just a publicly shared Google Drive folder or something.
Mm-hmm. I just made like a Dropbox account for
Yeah, that
like
works.
just of my streamer name.
Or they can figure out how to download stuff from YouTube through shady means.
There are a lot of videos like that.
But yeah, how did we end up in this Bionicle rabbit hole?
Because I was playing with my
Because
Bionicle.
he was
that I had
fidgeting with the Bionicle, and I asked him what set it was, and then we just went on this huge thing.
They were just like, "Wow, we have so much in common." I didn't realize.
I'm 100% fine continuing to talking about Bionicles.
I was
but
okay.
I don't know where else to go from this.
It's like, yeah, where do we go from here? What else does Bionicle touch upon in our lives? I
mean,
I was actually
It has
gonna-
an ever-present
language. Sorry, fake Hawaiian language.
I thought it was the Maori language that they stole.
was it?
It probably was an amalgamation of things, though, to be completely honest.
Did they actually like construct a language for the Bionicle universe?
So, yes. Well, they made one, but a lot of it was actually stolen from the native people of the Maori, the native Maori people of New Zealand.
No, so people who spoke Maori could literally just understand Bioniclese.
No, it's just like... Hold on, I need to stop messing with this. I started messing with the Lego set again. No, like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was, like, words like... Oh, what was it? What were the name of the village chieftains?
Small Bionicle.
No. Okay, so the word for the for the villagers was like tohunga, I think, like that. And that is a Maori term for like apparently an expert practitioner or something like that. And I think the tohunga were I think those were the Bionicle village chieftains. No, those were like the little people. They renamed them to Matorans after a while.
Huh. List of Bionicle characters. Matau redirects here. For the Romanian village of Mățău, see Muarel. I'm just amused that somehow there's a Romanian village. It is where I am from Romania, so I'm giddy that apparently Bionicle has any tangential relation to my home country. Even a bad redirect on Wikipedia. It touched me so. Yeah, so apparently... Yeah, I think Matoran is what they call the...
That's what they're called now.
Yeah.
Or like, they changed the name to that after a huge amount of backlash, which rightfully so. What was the name of like the village chieftains though?
Piraka?
Turaga.
Baraki?
Turaga. And they that also I believe is another term. Let me look up.
Oh, the leaders of the Borok were the Barog. That's right.
Yeah, those are the big snapping dragon things, weren't they?
Were they? Now I'm confused.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind. I don't remember as much as I want to.
So coming up next on the Bionicle podcast.
This could just be that. I'm trying to remember. I think Turaga was another term, but maybe it was just Tohunga.
Yeah, I mean, the only other direction that I would have gone with this is when we were still talking about the coronavirus. That cruise, like, I can't help but imagine every, like, coronavirus situation in the frame of, like, this as a Resident Evil game. And I'm just like, that's basically Resident Evil Revelations happening on that cruise right now.
Oh my god. So I was bored one day, speaking about Resident Evil, and decided to watch an entire, like, 2-hour movie or, like, detailed timeline about the Resident Evil games, and that included, like, the movies and the stage show, which reminds me, you should watch the stage show.
Oh, which one again?
For Resident Evil.
Oh, man. Who played
Those
who
are
played Nemesis?
Those are even canon, and, like, some of the movies reference things that happened in the stage show, so it's kind of just like, what?
I love it when they do that for things that are Japan only with no English version available in the West.
Yeah, so that's one thing I'll look for when I'm in the Japan. So I'll look for the DVD rip or DVD copy of the Resident Evil stage show. There's two, actually. One that stars your favorite character in the whole wide world, Rebecca Chambers.
Rebecca? Well, she starred in the movie, what do you call it? She starred in... What was that? Why can't I remember the name of it? I'm like blanking on the name of it. Vendetta.
Oh yeah, Vendetta. But yeah. So I decided to watch a 2-hour epic movie of the entire timeline of Resident Evil, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna play this game.
I can't believe it can come out to like 2 hours, like just discussing the whole thing.
Yeah, because it goes through all the games, even the side games, like Revelations and all that stuff. So every single piece of media that isn't related to the live-action movie. So even the 3D movies and stuff like that.
Is 3D Eliminator still considered canon?
No, it isn't. I didn't see it in that.
Oh, sorry, 4D Eliminator. It was the one where I think it was like Hunk's crew going down in the like going after Birkin.
No. It didn't talk about Hunk or anything like that, too.
Okay.
The only thing that would talk about that squad was the Revelations one.
I haven't played Revelations in a while. That's a good game. It's a fun game to go through.
Yeah. It's topical right now. You should play it.
Why is it topical right now?
Because of the cruise outbreak.
No. I don't. I'm not touching those.
So we go back on that ship, like 10 years later, it's just infected from the virus from Resident Evil 7, was it? Or
They destroyed the ship.
Yeah. What's the goop? Is that the what?
The molded?
The mold.
Can the molded
it's just called
survive
the
a
mold.
nuclear bomb? That is the question for Resident Evil 8.
Well, their hive mind was destroyed.
True. Because it was the girly goo girl. I'm sure they can.
But then they were still around in the end of Zoe DLC, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, mold spores can like. Mold is weird. they can figure it out. They can make that persist. Probably not well, but it can persist.
I really hope they announce stuff for RE8 soon, because I don't really give a single heck about RE3 remake.
I'm really excited for it though. Resident Evil 3 is really good.
I'm just tired of remakes and stuff and reboots.
I can definitely understand that, but
like we had RE2 remake, RE3 remake, Final Fantasy 7
but if you gotta think about, like, of all the there have been so many HD remakes of games. I would say this batch are the most promising in terms of things that kind of sort of needed it. Like, I feel like the Resident Evil games did have a lot of the tendrils of their, the time of their release kind of hanging it back in terms of, like, modern appreciation. Not that I can't enjoy the old games. They're still good. But I can certainly see, like, someone who's new to video games coming in and being like, well, that looks bad on my HD TV, Like...
My big thing, though, is I just don't like the approach to it, because for sure, Resident Evil 2 and 3 feel very cynical. And every time I get in this argument with people, they just say, well, that's how it was when the other two came out. I think 3 is coming out way too soon after 2. I don't care if 2 and 3 were developed in tandem together originally. It's 20-something years later. Like, it doesn't have to be like that anymore. It doesn't have to. So, it just makes me think that Resident Evil 3 Remake's going to be very underwhelming, or just feel like more of the same. And then with Final Fantasy VII Remake, look, Midgar's the worst part of that game, and to expand it out to be in its own full RPG adventure,
Is it not?
I would honestly.
Hold on. So I don't know the details of this. Is it not a
No,
bit
it's
for
only
bit
Midgard.
remake of
It's
what?
only Midgard.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Midgar.
What?
Yeah, because we're expanding it and stuff. Midgar's boring. I just can't ever wait to get off disc 1 whenever I play that game. That's why I never get through, is because I can't stand disc 1.
Why
Midgar's boring.
This is the worst news ever. I thought I was
They've
getting a whole remake.
Mentioned this like a year ago, dude.
I didn't pay attention. I don't.
You're too busy playing retro games.
I don't usually look at the press
Deus
before a
Ex.
game release. I don't usually
But
look at the
Timber,
press.
it's not like you're gonna play the game right away anyway. You're gonna play it in 2022 when Part 2 would just release.
It's very true. I'm gonna play it when the full collector's edition is out with all the parts.
In 2027.
Yep. on my
are they doing
preferred
2
platform.
parts or 3? Someone said we were getting 4 games. I'm like, we're not getting 4 games. If we do, then that's a lot of bullshit. There's not even 4 discs of that game.
If they're making 4 games, then this is going to be Half-Life 3, where
Oh my
we're
God,
going to get all the
Tetsu
parts.
Nomura is just off there somewhere, just going crazy, imagining 4 games.
It's like,
What if they
all the
started
money.
doing that? They split it up, and then something happened with Square Enix where they could not financially finish the game, and there would just be one part that was never finished for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I would be in so much
Yep.
actual
I'd say
pain.
Just like how it was for 15.
Oh, fun! My watch band just broke.
Well, for me, I don't need to worry about that because 14's story is still going strong. Thank you, Yamapi.
Damn it! My watch thing just broke.
Damn it.
All right, keep talking. I'll be right back.
This is the best part of the podcast, when Kyo just leaves. And let's see. We did Bionicle. We did Resident Evil Revelations. To be honest, I've been shockingly involved with a lot of not video game things lately, and it sounds like you too, Ken, because you were.
I was gonna say, what have you been doing? Because we haven't even got to the fact of what we've been playing yet. And I've been patiently waiting to talk about it.
All right, so as far as what we've been playing, I've just been playing my usual stream stuff. I also played a bit of Majesty Gold Edition on a stream last week, which is a really old fantasy simulator kind of thing, where you control the heroes, but you don't control them because you have to bribe them to do things that you want them to do with your coffers. It's a very interesting dynamic. I always enjoyed the game. There's not much I have to say about it because I've loved it since I was a child, and I feel like it's not exactly the kind of thing that's going to draw a new audience in 2020. But it was definitely good revisiting that. Otherwise, I played Tales of Vesperia and got to watch Patty get very thirsty for Yuri. I got to watch Deus Ex Human Revolution and Getting Lost in Hengsha again. And I got to play The Witcher, which I've been enjoying a lot, contrary to a lot of people saying that the first Witcher is a clunky thing that they can't get into. Maybe it's just because I had played it when it came out, so I kind of knew what to expect with it. That I knew that like there is some clunk there, but I also know there's a good story, there's some good heart to that game. So fun times to be had on that front. Outside of that, I finished Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's an amazing show, guys. It's an amazing show. I think it is probably the best animated Western thing that I have ever seen. End quote. I liked the story progression. I thought that pretty much on almost all elements, the show was pretty flawless with very little filler. So yeah, and the build up leading up to the villain, who, despite being cardboard in terms of his character development, the way that he was presented in the final moments compared to where you were with him even just a few episodes before that, made everything feel so grand and large that there was really quite a good payoff there when we got to the finale. So good show. I also watched Parasite. I didn't like it. That's my 2 cents on that one.
You didn't like the Academy Award winning movie Parasite?
I didn't.
Wait, are you talking about the movie or the anime Parasite?
The movie. I'm sure I'd enjoy the anime.
Oh, that's a hot take then. That's a hot, spicy take. Tell me why you didn't like that movie that I haven't seen, so I really don't have an opinion of.
Arguments about the hating of this movie in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, okay. So this is tough because hate's a strong word. I recognize from a technical level that it was a perfectly well-developed film, and it looked like a good movie in terms of the way it was presented and everything. I think my problem with it is that it is a movie that also, and I think this is just the way that the director for this film makes his things, it has a very intentional political message that it's trying to convey, or at least a sociological one, that I didn't feel hit the mark in all drives. Now, the things I didn't like, I can't discuss because they're like major spoilers for something that just came out, so I don't want to dive too deep on this. All I can say is that as far as like the underlying message, I felt like it was really muddy. It was really muddy trying to interpret exactly what it meant, and if it meant what I think it was trying to mean, it is so beyond the hill of cynicism that I can't grasp thinking that way, like, about people and about the world. Like, it's a very dark take that seems exaggerated almost to a cartoonish level, and maybe that's because it's trying to be metaphor, but it just didn't sit well with me. It felt like it was pointing out a problem without really having a solution, which is a problem that I have with a lot of art media when they try to have an underlying message and a purpose, and they go at it just trying to be like, look at how crap the world is, or look at how great this one thing is. It's like, I would rather, instead of having the core function of your film emotionally being, telling me that the world is crap, why not give a vision of hope or a direction that could remedy that instead of just pointing out the problem? That's the reason why I always liked Star Trek: The Next Generation for instance, where every episode was effectively a moral quandary, where it led with a problem, led with why something's crap, and ended with what could potentially be an option, or at least a take on how to handle that situation. So, Parasite, in a nutshell. I hope you guys are still here with me.
I haven't seen the movie yet.
I would still.
I haven't seen the movie
I think
yet.
I would still recommend people watching it because it is well done and it definitely has good moments. It's kind of like, I don't want to dig too far into it, but it has its moments, and especially the first half of the movie, I really enjoyed. I felt like when it starts taking a a turn. That turn didn't sit well with me.
I kind of just don't have any interest in the movie, to be perfectly
I want to
honest.
see it, but I don't see many movies.
It's not often that a Korean-made movie ends up taking the Oscars, so...
It's not often. It's never. It's never happened.
It has
before.
never happened in the history of the
It's
Academy.
the first time
Thank
in
you very
history, you know?
much. So, I mean, there is that. That's definitely cool.
What was the movie people kept saying should have won instead?
I believe it was The Lighthouse that was... Actually, no. No, because that wasn't even nominated. Hold on.
Nice one.
Oh, shoot. I should know this because it was a movie I liked. Okay, I don't remember. Now I need to look up the nominations.
What is it called? Movie of the year? What do they call this? What do they call this? Academy Award Movie of the Year?
Oscars?
I'm just gonna type in Academy Award Movie.
Oh, Joker, probably?
Oh yeah, he wanted Joker. And fuck no, get these comic book movies out of here. I don't even care. I've never seen that one.
Yeah,
Just get these out of here.
I'm mad because I can't ironically say that Suicide Squad is the only DC movie to have won an Oscar now. I love
No,
you,
but you can
Joaquin
still-
Phoenix, but I hate you at the same time.
But you could still go the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad.
Yeah, yeah. My Mujihi loves it when I say it like that.
Didn't people say Birds of Prey was a better movie than Suicide Squad, too?
Everything's a better movie than Suicide Squad.
This
It's like it's a really low bar
You
to, like,
better
to
not
hop over.
cross her path. Her soul seals the her souls of the enemies that she's slaying.
Oh my god.
God, that I don't know why they brought that character back like that. It was
Because they needed an Asian. They needed to diversify.
with like the most stereotypical Japanese style character ever.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like how they brought in a random Asian girl for this one and called her Cassandra Cain and be like, oh, we're going to portray every single thing that Cassandra Cain is known for this movie.
Isn't she like barely in the movie?
No, she's like Harley Quinn's sidekick in that,
Oh.
in Birds
I
of
haven't
Prey.
s-
And then like,
I just saw that, and like I saw that the movie was coming out, which for one I didn't know it was even a thing, and also that title is way too long. Like, have you seen the full title of that, Timber?
yeah, they cut it for moviegoers' sake so that when they print it on the ticketer, that they could fit it all.
I think it's like one of the official names is Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, but that is not the real name of the movie. It's called Birds of Prey, and then start your parentheses here, and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Which is the most pretentious
remember
ass
that.
name for a movie that does not look very good.
No, but it makes
But-
sense in the context of what that movie ended up being, which is really a movie that should have just straight up been titled Harley Quinn, because none of the rest of the Birds of Prey actually got any attention.
No, Canary is the only person that did. So I'm just gonna come in here with my DC bias here. That's not my Canary there, but we'll deal with it.
At least I
And-
like Harley Quinn as a character, so like I'm okay with it. But
They're trying to make it the Deadpool of the DC comics, and it's not working.
Who is Canary anyway? Hold on, let me look her up.
It's the person
Canary? Oh, Black Canary.
in Friday, not Friday nights.
No, I'm like trying to look up the character. I'm like, I don't know who this is.
Oh, I love Canary and Green Arrow, because those two are such the amazing on-off couple that they are. It's
I don't know like any of these. Okay, Cassandra Cain was Batwoman at some. No, she was Batgirl at some point.
yeah, but she's also a mute, and in the movie she just ends up swearing in like a lot of things. It's just like
But why did she swear a lot in the movie?
because she
'Cause
was hanging
she's-
around with Harley Quinn.
oh yeah, because she's mute, obviously. You gotta vent somehow.
I don't know any of these. Victor Zaz is in it. Okay.
Yeah, Victor
yes.
says.
Renee Montoya. I don't know any of these characters.
Because they're all Batman people. And they couldn't
Okay.
even get Batgirl. Like, the Barbara Gordon isn't in the movie. And that's the whole thing of the Birds of Prey is centered around Barbara Gordon.
So, what is it? Why can't I think? Is the Katana character still in the series, or is she dead?
No, she's still in the series. Well, everyone thinks she's dead because the sword just shows up randomly as a one-off in one of the scenes in the police lockup hold-up thing. So everyone thinks she died, but who knows?
That probably could have just been a... It's probably just a, what do you call it? A cameo. I don't know. It's really hard to keep track of what DC's doing nowadays, so you just...
They're doing multiverses. They're not...
Honestly, if that would probably work better for them than trying to have a single continuity, because
it's all over
DC
the place.
always works better with continuities. But yeah, I didn't see. I still find it funny that there's so much weird forced rivalry between Birds of Prey and the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
And and the most amazing part is Sonic is winning. Sonic is like beating out Birds of Prey big time right now as far as like performance goes.
I mean, it's the best video game movie released
Ever
right now.
made. What reality are we in? Where this
We're
is something
in the
you can
reality that the Smash Initiative is going to happen.
Sonic
Did you guys
the
watch that
Hedgehog.
movie?
I haven't seen it yet. I really want to.
Sorry,
Okay,
which
I
one?
won't spoil anything
Hold up.
about the movie then.
Which movie?
Sonic.
Sonic. I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard good things. It
is a very good movie. Stick around for the end credits.
Yeah, I've already been like semi-spoiled in the movie because Kotaku and Polygon are allergic to not putting spoilers in their titles and
my
headlines.
God.
Remember, Jedi Knight Fallen Order. That sure went over well.
But that wasn't a Kotaku thing. That was just an ad thing.
Yeah, it's even worse. It's even worse.
But like, I know there's a couple. What were people? Because of course it's like 2020 modern hardcore gamers that grew up in the 90s. They're like, there are 2 Fortnite references in it. I'm like, what else do you expect them to have in there? If this movie came out in the 90s, what do you think they'd be referencing in it? Other 90s video games, other 90s popular culture. Who cares if Sonic flosses? Is it really that big of a deal? He's a teenage hedgehog monster. Like, he's gonna do flossing. That's just how that's gonna be. Just laugh, give him a little clap, and then move on.
Yep.
But Bionicles.
I just realized that the one pervasive thing that we actually didn't talk about that much on this podcast was like just the turn of the century, like awards of everything that happened. There were the movie awards, there were the game awards where Sekiro rather predictably won. There's the anime awards going on right now.
Predictably?
I thought it was pretty predictable. Sekiro was like the most beloved.
People were actually surprised that it won.
Really?
Yeah, Sekiro. Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
thought
a lot
it
of
was
people
going
are
to be what you call
Death
Death
Stranding.
Stranding, because
that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
Doritos awards.
The thing is that people had very mixed opinions about Death Stranding. It was like you either absolutely loved that game or absolutely despised it.
But I feel like Sekiro was the same way. Like, most of those games are all like that. You either loved it or hated it because people don't like... For one,
Because
the Souls
gamers-
community was pissy because it was actually well made and didn't have janky, terrible, hot knife through butter combat.
Yep.
And then, like, it actually had a story and didn't look like total ass, and people didn't like that.
I think that basically tied up the things I did. Did you have... What did you play, Ken?
So I finished Fire Emblem Three Houses. I liked it. It was really good.
Did you get the DLC for it?
No, I'm not going to get the DLC for it.
Why not? Don't you want more of that?
No, I'm pretty happy with the game I got. And apparently the story that happens with that fourth, quote-unquote, fourth house doesn't really change the overall tone that the main story had.
Is that the DLC? Is that the DLC? Is another
Another house that just they've been living like mole people underneath the church. kind of thing.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's like underneath, and they were like, "Oh, so this is the legendary fourth house," kind of thing.
Really?
So like,
didn't
so
know that was
like
a
the
thing.
whole thing of their thing is it's all underground, and then that's where the normal people stay. That aren't like
The
the
normal
elites.
people?
Oh my god,
Or
is this
anyone-
is this a literal like? Are we talking literally separation of class by floor you're living on situation again?
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing. And so
What is with this? That's this
so,
year.
So
That's everything.
So the whole thing that I really did like. So I did the Black Eagle, so I did Edelgard and all that stuff. Her thing, like her point of view, is that ironically she wants to rule with the Iron Fist, but because she rules with the Iron Fist, she dissolves the class system, which I really did like and appreciated that particular point of view of why she wanted to go against what she did. So yeah, there's a huge
Soviet
class
Russia.
separation in this game. So
Absolute Soviet bloc Russia coming for you.
yeah, with an iron fist, man, I don't mind that.
I'm not surprised you don't mind that.
I almost forgot to mention, this is a PSA for anybody who is listening right now. Wait,
That's just us.
hold on. I need to make sure that this is actually still going to be relevant next week. I don't think it will be, though. Just keep talking.
Are you
for now.
announcing something you're doing?
I'm not announcing something I'm doing. I'm announcing something that's very important for listeners right now. But I don't know if
This podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
God, I wish.
I literally. Where did that conversation happen? Oh yeah, on stream, people were. I was talking about like you got upset at me because I called you a little guy or like a little streamer. Something got to you. But I was just trying to make a point about like sponsorships and who could do it because I think
I think you called me small time or something
because
like that.
Digital Smith like was in the middle of like making a game and he wanted to like show the world that game when it comes out.
I will have you know, I struggled through fucking Tomb Raider the past 2 days to like a larger audience than you'd expect for that, and it was
Tomb Raider,
the worst game
it's
I
not.
had played
It's
in a
actually
while.
it doesn't defy my expectation at all. I have noticed time and time again when doing trend research that Tomb Raider, for some reason, is always doing well. Like whatever Tomb Raider it is, it's like I don't understand how people invested more time than like the main storyline hours into any of those games. Like they literally go around and like
such
dungeon dive.
a
constantly.
bad series.
I like
Tomb Raider sucks.
I like the reboot. I did enjoy the reboot.
The reboot's too rapey for me.
Go on.
Well, the first game, there's so many themes of assault and stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
Like this is a
True.
known thing. This isn't me being like, oh, there's a woman in it, so it's got no. It's like there's so much like rape imagery within the first like hour alone.
But I think
In like
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know the purpose of it, because I remember the developers addressing it and being like it put her in those situations so she could eventually conquer this like dark, evil, bad thing that was happening. But
why does it like every time for women though, for them to like conquer some evil bad thing, they have to go something that looks like or like alludes to sexual assault?
it's AAA development, man. It's
And
at
for
least
men,
it's at
and
least
for male characters, it's just like your mom died.
it's at least partly
Sorry.
politically driven of just like, this, it seems like social rights are kind of a thing right now. Maybe you should make a point about that. And then there they go. All right. So if you are listening to this, okay, never mind. If you are listening to this, you no longer have the opportunity to do this, but you have 2 days to get Kingdom Come Deliverance for free on the Epic Game Store, which is a really good open world first person shooter medieval like simulator game thing.
Why don't you tweet it out?
I think I will. I think I'll do that because people should know.
I have another idea too. Don't click and talk at the same time.
I'm sorry. How's that?
Silence and clicking.
I figured that would improve things. All right. Just in case, I'll repeat Kingdom Come Deliverance free on Epic Game Store till 2/20/2020. I'm going to tweet it out. It would be $30 otherwise, and it's a really good like medieval simulator thing. So check it out. Yeah. Takes place in the Czech Republic, I think.
I'm like really fixated on the fact that my watch band broke and I cannot think about anything else because I know that the replacement band is somewhere in my closet, but I recently rearranged everything so that stuff would not be sitting out because I didn't need it. And I'm just like heavily fixated on the fact that my watch band is broken to the point where I'm like almost ordering a new one instead of looking in the closet later. Just hoping that will be here tomorrow and it won't.
Maybe one day. You could use a rubber band for now.
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. No, it's not like that. It's different. It's a different type of broken issue. You know, like we're like the little, I don't know, what's a good word for this? The tooth thing? Like, you know how you have like the latch part?
Yeah, the toothy part.
Yeah, so the part with like the holes in it where like that toothy part would go into, one of those ripped out and then another one's about to rip out. And the problem is they're in a row. So now it's going to like be way too big.
Oh no.
Yeah. I've only had this watch since like for 6 or 7 months. So I'm like really surprised it broke. I mean, I guess it's been resilient to then because I usually completely break every watch that I own within like a week. But I'm just really upset about it.
This is probably going to be the most schizophrenic episode we've ever done. But
And the crowd goes quiet.
But because Valentine's Day happened.
Bionicles, though.
Wait, can you not hear me?
Bionicles, though.
Bionicles, though. Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I also saw Kiki's Delivery Service for the first time last week, and that was.
What does it have to do with Valentine's Day?
Well, it was a thing that I watched with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day.
Is she back living up there now?
No, it was a remote viewing, but she will probably be back up here in 2 months. Fine.
Oh, nice.
That'd be nice.
She gonna move in with you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we can go back to the old ways. Old ways that are so old, I think it predates me knowing you.
Yeah, she never lived with you when I've known you.
But those were fun times. She would occasionally like take over my computer and then solo stream Animal Crossing. Those were good times. Speaking of Animal Crossing,
there's a direct coming up in a couple days.
Yes.
On the 20th.
On the 20th. Coincidentally, the same day that you can no longer buy Kingdom Come Deliverance for free.
Are you guys ready
I don't
to
think those are
spend
related.
$300 on random gimme boxes?
On what?
Figure boxes for Animal Crossing? Because the random boxes just came out in real life, so they have these little figures and stuff like that.
Yes, Alchemy Fox already went out and got a whole bunch of those. She has like so many different versions of Tom Nook right now.
Yeah, so
I
was
luckily don't
thinking,
have any money to buy that stuff.
I was thinking of buying it for my boss so that she would, forgive me or not be mad at me.
Forgive me, the coronavirus happened. Here, have some Animal Crossing to distract you.
Yeah, I was talking to her the other day. I was like, oh yeah, so it's like only a month out till we play Animal Crossing. Are you kind of ready? She goes, yeah. I already freed up all the things, and my daughter got her own Switch, so I can keep my Switch for my own island so that no one can bother me on my island. I was like, okay. And she already...
I still find that whole island thing to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
One island per system.
It is what it is, though. I can't really...
Yeah,
really
I'm definitely
do anything.
I'm definitely gonna be playing it when it comes out. I'm far more excited for that than I was for Pokemon. And that's saying something coming from me, as you know,
Someone who doesn't really like Pokemon that much. Yeah, that's saying something.
and who gave Temtem a shot unwittingly, giving into peer pressure.
That looks so boring.
Yeah.
And then you were playing it, so it seemed even more boring than it should have been.
I mean, I feel like I spiced some things up. I brought something to the table that no one else did. I made my character actually look like me.
Do you guys know type advantages?
Yeah, don't you know?
Oh, man, I knew you would know the type advantage for that one.
How many times did it prompt me for that? That was so many. It literally it's like it thought I didn't know like what that is.
Maybe because it's
love,
a children's game.
Headcanon.
No,
I love my
refuse your logic.
headcanon of Hop thinking he's the main character and slowly coming to grips with the fact that he's an NPC throughout the game. It makes that story seem so much better and makes so much more sense.
I will say though, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I do sincerely like the Sword and Shield anime. I thought it was really well done. It kind of went in a different artistic direction than the Sun and Moon one did, and I don't know. I like the characters.
Well, I mean, if it was just, the bar was set so low from the Sun and Moon anime, it can only kind of go up from there.
I mean, I feel like that was in itself. Sun and Moon was like it was clawing from the pit, right? Getting out from the black and white abyss. And getting us to
when
like
he
something...
should have won originally and just ended the series there.
True. They could have, but they didn't. So here we are.
And like, still, my headcanon is like he won, and he's with Serena, and game over. There. That's the end of Ash.
Ah, Serena, huh?
No, that was the whole headcanon that. Serena was gonna announce that she really liked Ash, and that was the whole thing.
That was the thing.
That was the thing. Even more so than the Misty.
Was May ever like a thing? Did people care about May?
People cared about May, but May was her own character, which I liked. They didn't charge her and be like, "Oh, this is the love interest," kind of thing.
True.
The love interest for the 10-year-old boy. Un-Asian 10-year-old boy.
She's a 10-year-old girl in that anime.
Although at that point,
it's fine. It's fine. They're both the same age. No problems here whatsoever.
Like, am I just supposed to expect that he's done all this stuff, 20 years worth of stuff within the same year still?
Well, like I said, probably he got into a coma after the first episode, and he's just imagining all the situations.
I mean, it's kind of possible. The entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender takes place in the span of an in-universe year. So that's a thing.
How?
No, well, they had celebrated 4 Christmases. I think someone did a timeline where if they took the real lifetimes or the amount of time it would take for each season, and they ended up him being like 24 or something like that.
Did they account for the adulting required to sign the forms to be in a tournament to begin with, and the planning involved to actually do these things that he does?
Well, I mean, it's a non-profit organization, so...
The non-profit Pokemon tournaments funded by the government, I'm sure.
I mean, that's what the Pokemon Center is.
Oh no.
But what have you been playing, Kyo? We finally got to this, and almost an hour in.
I, at least on stream, I have attempted 2 separate IDOS published series, and they were both terrible
Montreal
experiences for me. I don't know. It was Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and then Tomb Raider 1 and 2.
Oh, people like
Legacy is seeing... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. People like Legacy of Kain. I remember seeing...
Yeah, people are also objectively wrong on how well that plays. I played it. I played 2 different versions of that. I played on Dreamcast. I played on PS1. PS1 version I had the download on PSN. I had to give up on that one because the game stopped working. Something would no longer... I could not pull a switch, and that was the only thing to progress. People what if you ran, maybe there's something else to do. It's I have had someone look up 2 videos, and this is where to go, and it doesn't work. And I think the PSN download must be borked or something. Because the same thing happened to the one guy twice. So that was it. Then I tried to play it on Dreamcast, and he wouldn't grab ledges after a while. He stopped grabbing ledges, so I couldn't progress that game. And people keep telling me that they're like, "Oh, the gameplay's fine. You're just bad at it," which I hate. I hate. Let me stress this really like a lot. I hate when people tell you your opinion is invalid about a game and its gameplay if you're not good at it. No, some games just aren't good and don't play well or haven't aged well, and none of the IDOS games have. Case in point, Tomb Raider 1 is a terrible fucking time. It is a terrible game with terrible controls, with no story, and only they have single-use save points throughout the levels. So, say you get to one, and then you have 3 things to do after that before the next one. When you die, you have to keep redoing all 3 of those things to get to the next part. Why?
I almost feel like those games, especially from that era, are almost most fun when you are just straight up breaking the things. Tomb Raider there's so many opportunities to completely wreck that game. You don't even have to be trying to bug yourself out of an arena or get yourself into the next level. Some of these are speedrunning tricks, but a lot of them it's just oh, apparently this is a ledge now, I guess. It was very easy to abuse that. I think a lot of people...
The games...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm going to rant, so go ahead.
I think a lot of people ended up would say that if you want to get into those games, you kind of need to play I don't remember what year it came out, the remakes of the originals that had come out, like Tomb Raider Gold or whatever, which severely cleans up some of the clunkiness from those originals. But
yeah, I might have to try, it's Tomb Raider Legends that came out, and then they used that engine and made Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Yeah.
And that was the remake. And then there's Underworld, which I heard sucks. But it seems like more games in that series suck than are good. So, there's 5 games on PS1. They did a new game a year for 5 years in a row. Then took a short break, and then did 3 in a row. And then took a short break, and then did, the Guardian of Light games and stuff like that. The Lara Croft and the whatever. And then they did the reboot.
I don't know.
But, the games are tank controlled for the most part. Mostly tank. I mean, it's kind of like Resident Evil Tank, but... It's just, it doesn't have the same feel because those are, fixed camera angles, stuff like that. They aren't action platformers. For one. So you have these tank controls and no camera control, no analog support, even in the second game. And you're trying to do 3D platforming and combat at the same time with this camera that's awful. And it was just such a frustrating experience.
Before I ever even heard of Tomb Raider, back in the day, I had played a game that I had rented for N64. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was Indiana Jones and the something. It was 3D. It was clunky as shit. I remember, using a rope and, falling down into a pit. There was a snake. I tried to whip the snake with my whip, and it went about as well as you can expect, and I don't think I ever made it further in that game. But since playing that, I remember for a good long time when I eventually played the original Tomb Raider thinking, oh, this is just a generic remake of the Indiana Jones game, but with without the Indiana Jones branding. And I'm pretty sure it was
Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine.
That sounds correct. Let me look at that.
Oof, this game looks rough.
It sure wasn't easy to play. Oh man.
Look at this PC N64 comparison. Don't you sometimes just feel like the N64 version of it mentally? It's no textures.
It is what I remember,
that block wall in the back there.
I just love freaking old ass fat Indiana Jones on the N64. That's really the better version. It really captures all of Harrison Ford's best features.
Did Indiana Jones at least have camera control?
Ah, boy, I don't remember. I'm gonna click on this thing, look at the long play here. I think...
Because, it's just... Not having camera control, I think even by the time Let's see, when did Tomb Raider 2 come out?
No, it was pretty much a carbon copy of Tomb Raider. Tank controls, the camera falls from behind. This guy is struggling. This long play is struggling so hard. Oh, but at least it has the Indiana Jones theme when you do things, so it's like kind of it's kind of interesting that way. I don't know, maybe you should play this. He just fell into a pit and went, whoa.
The DualShock controller came out November 20th, 1997. Give me around what day you think Tomb Raider 2 came out. Oh, sorry, it was November 20th, 1997. I don't know if I said the right year. I think it's 2007, 1997.
I think
Tomb Raider 2 came out 9 days earlier.
No.
And it has no analog support.
They did
they could have literally had it built into the game ready to go, and they're like, no. Shit time.
It just caught them with their pants down, man.
It was like a flagship series for PlayStation. You think they would have gotten an early, access to that controller or something. Does Tomb Raider 3 have better controls in it?
Do I even want to know? Now I'm curious, what were... If you need to know how they treated their flagship series back then, we probably just have to look at what the trailer for Tomb Raider might have looked like. What did they try to sell this as?
Wait, was Tomb Raider 1 and 2 not even made for the PlayStation specifically? Apparently 3 was the one where they first started, primary development for PlayStation. That's why it looks better, because the first two kind of look like ass. Where is it? Tomb Raider 2. What was the main platform? Was the main platform PC?
I remember
PC.
it being... It was a PC game for the longest time.
Yeah, apparently I was supposed to be playing the PC versions of 1 and 2. The first game runs on DOSBox. I'm sorry. DOSBox doesn't always work. I'm not going to have a game constantly crash on me during stream.
I've really never had a problem with DOSBox personally.
I have crashes a lot, especially those old Sierra games. They'll just crash. I haven't been able to finish Gabriel Knight 1 because of its crashing. I really wanted to because I liked Gabriel Knight. That was a fun game.
Oh.
That second game was really good.
Oh my god, I think I found the official trailer for the first Tomb Raider.
I know it was on Saturn. Someone's like, if you had the Saturn version of Tomb Raider, would you do a comparison? I'm like, yeah.
Jesus Christ, the Saturn version.
Pretty sure it was on Saturn.
Yeah, that is a full 90s trailer. 100%. There's no question. I learned nothing about what Tomb Raider's about in that.
I just like the bald guy that's just randomly there.
Yeah.
Sorry, not bald, shaven.
Yes.
It's a life choice.
The shaven man screaming at the camera.
It's a life choice. I can't. Is that a dig at Tofu? Because we already had one last episode.
Oh, is Tofu shaven? I didn't know that.
No, I think he's just balding.
I'm sorry.
After Timber just threw him under the bus last time.
I'm sorry, Tofu. At least he was chill about it. I appreciate that. He's probably plotting my demise as we speak, but for now, thanks, Tofu.
He's gonna find a way to leech all of your views.
No.
Did I play anything else? I want to get off the topic of Tomb Raider because I've just been angry about it the past 2 days. What else did I play? I played Extermination and Apocalypse last week, both of which made me really mad. I've only played games that made me mad in the past 2 weeks, except for Killer 7.
I feel like you should play Majesty. I think it'd really be up your alley.
Is it fantasy based?
It is a fantasy based simulator.
Okay, you no, that would just be me complaining.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't think I've ever have you ever tried
I don't like fantasy.
But what if you did?
What if you just accepted me as who I am as a person?
You like Tales
Dad.
of Vesperia? That's fantasy.
That's barely fantasy. There's so much tech in that game.
It's Magitech. That's fantasy.
No. No, it doesn't count. Because it's not old fantasy. That's I don't know.
New-fi fantasy.
Weird Japanese. It's weird Japanese fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy's fault.
We're here's all these. This took place a long time ago, but actually it's more if like 1,000 years ago was actually only like 200 years ago, and that's the fantasy in that one. They also had like tanks and shit, didn't they?
In Vesperia? I mean, they had like a mega weapon thing that had like a cannon that was really big. That's basically a tank.
I mean, you go to a spaceship in like Tales of Graces.
Yeah, but that's not Vesperia though. I mean, the whole series kind of evolved that way. When they first started, it was like pretty hard fantasy, and then as it went on, it did the same thing Final Fantasy did, where they're like, "What if it's fantasy but also tech at the same time?" And then we got a Gunblade, and the rest was history.
I mean, that wasn't the first time that we got that together.
No, I actually recently learned that Gunblades were actually a real thing. Not very
Like a sword with a blade.
yeah,
on it?
like not effective, but there was definitely a period of time where people explored the idea of attaching a gun to a sword. And yeah, it was during that early phase where you're like, I need to be able to simultaneously shoot something, and when I don't have time to reload my gun, also stab
You
it.
stab them.
Yeah. So,
Isn't it just a bayonet?
well, eventually they evolved to bayonets because the swords were too cumbersome to make it worth it.
No shit, they'd be too cumbersome.
But it was a great time while they had them. As it turns out, it was actually more popular to use the gun knife, which was just a pistol
You know
with a
what
knife on it.
this sword needs? Like a six...
I want a gun knife.
6-barrel revolver. That makes it so much better. And like I'm like thinking logistically. If you were to make a gun blade, the hilt would have to be so heavy to offset the weight of the blade itself.
Well, the idea...
It'd be like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the gun you're visualizing. In most cases, it was like a musket, so it was almost as long as the sword itself in its design. I don't know how that would... Yeah. It was weird. I don't think it was very effective.
Even so, the musket would have to be... The gun part of the musket has to be heavy. Otherwise, as soon as you pull it out, the thing is just going to lopside to the weight of the blade.
True. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a million reasons why this idea was a thing that also wasn't very popular or effective. It's like, we can do it,
Didn't help well
but it
enough.
doesn't mean we should.
Alright, what about you guys? What have you been playing?
So I
Or
beat...
did you guys already answer?
Yeah, we already
I
answered.
don't remember.
Yeah, you were the last one in the thing. I was pretty short on...
My attention.
I was pretty short on my list, but mostly when it came to video game playing, I think it was all on stream this time around. I played, on stream this time around, and I've taken the most enjoyment, arguably, from The Witcher. I really enjoyed my time with The Witcher. I found it clunky in an endearing way, and I've had a lot of fun just dinking around in it.
Oh, I have played a game off stream this past couple weeks. Just remembered, I have actually been trying to play something off stream, and you'll never guess what it is.
I'm scared. It better not be a mobile game.
Oh, there's a mobile version of it. What's the last game you'd expect me to play that's popular?
Fortnite?
No,
Okay.
a little bit older.
Oh, older. Last game, Call of Duty?
No, why? You're in the wrong genre.
Okay. The Mobius fantasy game?
What? No, it's a mobile game.
Well, it's also not a mobile game, right? Like, that was the category.
It got delisted, or it's about to be delisted. It's finished.
Alright, I have no idea.
Minecraft.
Wow, I never would have expected that.
Well,
from
is
you.
that why you were asking him to fix your server?
That
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
so my mod Mark, my buddy there, he his friend has a Realms thing, and he's like, somehow it came up, and I'm like, yeah, I made it a Realm thing, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, I'm probably only be on there a little bit. Well, I had went out of town and stuff like that, and I'm was started building a house in there, so I've been playing. I think I put 10 to 15 hours in Minecraft over the past week.
Oh my god.
And then I went to the server today and they were messing around and doing stuff in there, and they had changed it, so I thought I loaded into a tutorial zone, and I couldn't figure out what to do. So it's just like, can someone fix this? I want my house back.
Oh, that's really good.
But I had accidentally messed something up the other day, and I was just playing it, and I was in voice chat, and I messed something up by accidentally killing the snowman that runs the Chick-fil-A, because they built a Chick-fil-A, which is, that whole thing is really weird and messed up and kind of really funny.
Okay.
So I had to have everyone in my voice chat help tell me how to make a snowman to replace it, and then I went on putting snowmen in everyone's houses while they were gone.
If I had heard this and didn't know that it was a Minecraft conversation, I would seriously be concerned about this.
I thought about
snowman.
I thought about just
Chick-fil-A.
recording some.
I think you should.
I thought about recording some weird playthroughs of me doing Minecraft, just to be facetious, and also because, well, then I can actually learn how to play this stupid ass game.
Or you could even stream it. I mean, you can get. Imagine.
I'm not streaming Minecraft.
Imagine all of the new audience you could have from streaming Minecraft.
No, I'll just make the videos and have kids come over and then be like, sorry, you have to be 18 plus to be in my chat.
No, I hit the accept button. I'm definitely 18.
No, just rename. I'm going to rename my my stream to Boomers Only.
Boomers Only. That's definitely a way to kick them out.
Because they're the ones who are like, there's nothing wrong with Tomb Raider. Yeah, there's a lot of wrong
Would you
with Tomb
ban
Raider.
everybody who came in saying just okay boomer?
No, because I get told that a lot. And it's usually, I'm like, you're, for one, I hit the I need to stop playing with this Bionicle. I'm like, one, you're older than me, and two, you have an older mindset than I do, so I am not the boomer here.
It's actually funny that you're playing Minecraft, because I think about a week ago, it popped into my head as well. I was just thinking, I had seen something random where somebody was like, oh yeah, there's a Myst Minecraft server. I was like, what the, how would that even work? And I looked up all this stuff for the mod to figure it out, and they had this whole system in the mod where it was you would craft the paper, and then you would make you'd arrange a certain pattern of ink and papers to design a linking panel that you would then attach a leather binder to create the Myst linking book that would then link you to a random seed generated world. And you could actually, they had the whole Dunny language from Myst in there, so you could actually write the worlds and manipulate the different things in it. Then I realized that it'd be an extreme pain in the butt to spend hours upon hours trying to make one of those said linking books, and gave up the idea entirely. But it was fun while it lasted.
That sounds awful. Everything you just said sounded so awful and boring.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I didn't end up playing it, but I was just I was so intrigued. I was like, how would that even work? Half the mods for Minecraft are just things that make me go, how does that even work? How can this exist?
All right, we got anything else, or should we move on to questions?
I wonder if there's a Resident Evil mod for Minecraft.
Oh, there probably is. There are a bunch of them.
We can move on to Minecraft.
We can move on to Minecraft, or move on off?
Move on off of Minecraft to the questions.
Okay. All right, let's get to some questions. Let's see. These were from last time. Where was this one? Okay, when did we record last? It was the 4th?
Anything from February 7th on.
Okay. Let's see. That has been taken. That's been taken. There we go. It's been taken. Okay, we did that one. I think I ordered pizza, and they want to know if I will describe my delicious pizza in gross detail. No. Will I record it for ASMR? No. Okay, these are some kinds a little bit too old. Okay. Here we go. First one from Black Shotgun. Is tofu, that's AlabamaTofu, food or a person? Both? I mean, I guess humans can be food, technically, for something.
Yeah, cannibalism
Thoughts?
exists.
Or if some animal just ate a human, that would be food for them.
Yeah, do they serve tofu in Alabama? Is that, can you get tofu in Alabama? Is AlabamaTofu from Alabama?
Yes.
Oh.
His alternate name on Discord is White Trash Bean Curd.
That's pretty much perfect.
All right, next question, which I didn't click off it. Is Kyo ever going back to Japan? Probably to visit at some point. Things would have to really go south here for me to like move back there, though. I'd have to like honestly be kicked out or like broken up with like to move back to Japan.
Is it possible to go back to teach after you've already had a teaching like stint?
Yeah, he can. He just needs to look for a
For
teaching
Jet,
yeah.
For Jet, I think I have to wait 5 years, but I could like go back for any other job.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that isn't related to Jet, so he could work for Aeon or any of the other things.
But
he can actually be, if he wants to, he can actually go into translations if he really, really wants to do that from Japanese.
My Japanese would have to increase a lot. My ability has gotten worse since I moved back.
Yeah, can work for 8-4.
Be like that.
But you 100% don't want that though.
I wouldn't mind translating. I just don't have the ability.
He would
But I
have
don't
to be
really wanna
doing
move
what
back
I'm
to
doing
Japan.
now for my site. It's literally just translating. And not relying on Google Translate like some people, won't name names, use.
Like, it's okay for things here and there if you don't know it.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're, like, looking up words constantly, then you don't have the ability.
Yeah.
Let's see. Have I ever... This is coming from Yang. Kyo, have you ever played Yume Nikki before? I have not.
Wait,
Have any of you guys played
you
that?
haven't? Yume Nikki?
No.
So this is I'm gonna make sure that I'm not confusing this with something else. Okay. Oh right, it wasn't.
Diary.
Yeah, it wasn't you. I watched Fangirl played this. Fangirl played this, and she had a great time getting absolutely spooked by this. But if you've never played Yume Nikki, you of all people, I will toss my hat in the category of this is probably something you should.
Is it an RPG Maker style
It
game?
is it's a JRPG. Well, it's not a JRPG. It's an RPG horror indie thing.
And
like
you
RPG
lost
Maker
me.
is a specific type of game.
It's like it's
Like
like an Earthboundy thing that's also
okay, then I
horror-y.
probably would not like it. I mean, it's free, like for the original version, which I'd probably play, but like I'm probably gonna go on limb and say I probably wouldn't like it. Okay, another question from Haller. How do you spell stream? TimberTaft.
That is Sierra Tango R Echo Alpha
Romeo.
Romeo Mike. Yeah, we got it.
Imagine being named Mike. What a terrible existence.
Yeah, it'd be really rough.
Like any form of the name Mike.
It's better than Oscar.
Black Shotgun has another question. Can I have dog? No,
How could you do that to Black Shotgun?
can't have the dog. No one can have
You
the dog.
you just ruin his dreams, his life.
Yes, I ruin everyone's dreams. I'm a retro streamer. All I do is like shit on people's dreams in happiness. I love this game. Well, I hate it. You have bad nostalgia.
I love dogs. Do you really?
All right, more questions. Here are the ones that are from today. From AlabamaTofu. Thoughts on the massive amount of remakes, remasters, especially on Switch? I think Switch has too many ports and stuff on it, but not of the... There's games I want to be ported on there, but they're not going to happen. It's just going to be ones that are already on everything else. Like, I would love to have the Killer 7 HD port on there. Because, I mean, it's only on PC, and that was... I think it's 2 generations removed, 3 almost. I think that would be fine. But these games were like, oh, here's Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze for Switch. We really didn't need that. Really didn't need it.
Just give me Skyward Sword, and I'll be okay.
So you don't have to buy a Wii for it.
Yeah. So I don't have to buy a Wii. I'd appreciate that.
Just buy the Wii and do it already. You get a GameCube out of it also.
I have a GameCube already.
But this one can go into HDMI.
Damn it. I do think that that the remake philosophy is very much a product of our time. I think we discussed that on one of these podcast episodes. It's just
We did it earlier today.
It's an internet thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I actually mind remakes getting made as much. I think the key component for me is that it's a big ocean of games out there. Please make sure that at least some of the stuff that's coming in down the faucet is original content. The minute that the only thing that I ever see are remakes, I'm going to start getting really concerned.
I'm kind of the same too, but the whole thing with the Switch thing, it's because the Wii U didn't sell and y'all didn't buy any of the games for the Wii U's. So,
I did.
Yeah, well, besides the mass majority of the public. And that's why a lot of these games are getting remade on the Switch. Like Pokken.
Yeah.
I wanted to play Pokken on Switch more than anything else.
I think I
can.
Pokken I don't mind so much because like it was an arcade game and we were getting an upgraded arcade version, and I expect those to be ported to the next system all the time anyway. Like Street Fighter, I mean that was on Street Fighter 4 was on like last generation and current generation. I expect that to happen just because so you stay current with stuff.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Also, Wonderful 101. So
yeah.
Well, that one needed to come out because that was like such an early Wii U launch title that didn't like get enough love. So
yeah.
I was just gonna say one more thing. I actually just realized it as I was thinking on it. To all of the indie developers of the world, the AAAs are in the remake business right now. Please, if I don't know how to say this. I want original content from indie developers, even though I know that all the indie developers are just going to try and like remake an old thing that nobody cared about just because they cared about it, right? Like that's what happened with Stardew Valley. It was like, hey, remember Harvest Moon? Well, Harvest Moon doesn't care about Harvest Moon, so I'm just going to make one. And then there it is, Stardew Valley, aka Harvest Moon, the new one. I don't know where I was going with this. All I'm saying is I want original content. Please make original content. I'll love you forever if it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. You know? You feel me?
What do you guys think about... Oh, sure. I honestly wasn't listening.
That's fine. Just delete that whole segment. It didn't...
No, I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in.
Please, just remove that.
I'll consider it. What do you guys think about the amount of shovelware that's on the eShop? Like, I can't...
I wouldn't know because I don't look at the eShop.
There's so much garbage on it. And then, like, a lot of these games are, like, being sold for, like, 10 cents or, like, 1 cent or something.
Yeah. I have only bought physical copies of all my Switch games so far, which is kind of a mistake, but that's what I did.
Yeah, I'm more of a physical buyer anyway. So, like, for example, I just picked up my Yakuza Remasters. So, even though they were originally released digitally, I finally got to have physical releases for the PS4 in America for these games, especially for 5.
I find it weird that 6... was it 5 or 6? 5. I find it weird
5.
that got its own special case.
Well, because 5 was digital only in the West.
Yeah.
Or here. It was only digital only. So,
but it got a PS4 case.
Yeah, it got a PS4 case because then physical collectors that want to have 3, 4, and 5 as a case could have a case because 5 wasn't released physically here. It was only. I
still find it weird they did that digital only. That was such a weird choice for them.
And well, the thing is, they made it such an afterthought after the PS4 was already made, so not much attention was being brought to that PS3 port. So it was sad, but I'm happy because I really like the Yakuza series. So of course, happy.
Did that come out on PS4 in Japan as well, like initially, or
no? It came out on PS3.
Okay.
It was like the Persona thing where it was on the last legs of the PS3.
Got a lot of questions about Switch stuff in here. Do you think the Switch store is lacking in terms of gaining content that would allow? Hold on, let me reread this. Do you think that the Switch store is lacking in terms of content / games that they allow maybe subpar? I think they just let everything on there at this point. Like they just
they don't really screen anything if my memory.
I mean, Sony's like that too.
Yeah,
Microsoft's like that too. It's just more noticeable because the eShop's so poorly designed, and everyone expects better from Nintendo, I guess. Even though you should have those expectations across the board for everyone equally.
I don't think it's particularly fair considering that Nintendo spent a good chunk of their development cycle on previous generations being yelled at for staying strictly first party. So now that they're finally like, okay, fine. Here you go. Have all that shovelware you wanted. All of a sudden people are like, wow, there's too many games that I don't care about flooding the market. Like,
There's a lot of like actual like mobile phone ported garbage over.
true.
Like things that are only on the Switch and mobile phones, like that they're like charging out the ass for, that which are like free on phones for the same content, the same style thing. And then even Nintendo's making a lot of shovelware bullshit too, like that Kirby microtransaction game that came out. Do you guys remember that? That came out last year.
Yep.
I'm not familiar.
It's the free to play Kirby game that they tried to do like extra lives for costumes or something like that.
I don't know. I kind of stopped.
Yeah,
I kind of stopped paying
think it's
attention
dead.
after Mario Run and also that weird Tomodachi Life thing that they did.
Oh, Miitomo?
Miitomo, yeah.
Yeah, that's dead. That's dead in the water. It's gone already.
Yep.
And that was going to be their flagship, like, this is where everyone's going to come to hang out in between all of our other cool games that we're releasing. And then only, like, Fire Emblem Heroes and Animal Crossing took
Yeah, I
off.
completely forgot about the Animal Crossing one, but I don't really know what.
Girlfriend plays that a
I
lot.
don't really know what you would do in it compared to like a proper
That game's
game.
going to die as soon as the new one comes out.
Yeah, they're competing with themselves there.
It was really just, like, holding people over until the new one came out. Let's see. Okay, we have some other questions. Kyoryu wants to know if we're going to play Under Hero. I'm honestly, be honest, I'm probably not going to play it, just based on my attention span and the fact that, if I remember correctly, let me double check here. Loading up Steam for this.
I hadn't actually heard of this. I like the, I don't know. It's not Undertale, but it's underrated according to Jim Sterling. That sounds like a pretty solid statement of affirmation.
What was that, Under Hero?
Yeah, for Under Hero.
What kind of game is it? Sorry, girlfriend walked
Oh,
in right when I started looking at
It
it.
looks like a Metroidvania style thing. I can't say for sure if that's exactly how it plays, but just looking at the visuals, the bosses, it seems to have kind of a. To be honest, looking at it visually,
Oh, it's like Paper Mario. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
I've asked Chi several times to explain it. Visually, this doesn't interest me much.
it kind of reminds me of Mischief Makers, at least just in like the aesthetics and design. Maybe just because the character has that mask on him that feels very Mischief Makery. But
I feel like you would like this, Timber, if anyone
I
would.
probably would, especially if the music's solid. Like, it looks fun.
I just can't get into these. Like, when I always run into this whenever like an indie game is inspired by like an old Nintendo game or something like that. I kind of just would rather play the old game. Like the South Park game, The Stick of Truth, played like Paper Mario, but it was so slow. I'm like, I'd rather just play Paper Mario. And then this, like, the art style really doesn't do it for me. It's kind of one of those like overly colorful indie games.
I'm taking a look at the trailer right now. It looks... Yeah, I would really have to know more about with this one. Because part of the appeal of a Mario, like a Paper Mario-like, is, A, music's got to be jamming. Music has got to be jamming.
They don't say anything, but they say it's got a slap or it's a
Yeah,
banger.
it's got to slap. It's got to be a banger. 2, it also has to have some kind of plot. It doesn't have to be like... Paper Mario is very character-driven, so it doesn't matter if like the underlying plot is, oh, go kill Bowser. It's just make sure that your characters are strong and that there's entertaining personalities and that they kind of have a purpose in being. I'm a little concerned about the outward direction that I can see here, just because from a pure cover art standpoint, it seems like Under Hero is trying to go for this collage of edgy looking characters. So I'm hoping that it's more Paper Mario like fun character times and less like brooding Hollow Knight characters. Just because I don't think that would necessarily work in a Paper Mario like, but we'll see.
God, Hollow Knight, that is a series I never want to touch again after seeing Captain play so much.
I kind of want to play.
I bought it twice. I bought it twice over, and I'm just like, I don't want to play this. I've seen too much.
I feel like I have to, but I also am in the same boat. Like, I need to wait I need a wait period of like forgetting it before I can play it.
Anything from you on that one, Ken, or nah?
Nah, not really.
Nay.
Nay.
All right, let's see. Are there any from Black Shotgun? Are there any games you are hoping to get a remake, especially if they're never translated into English? I mean, I would love, I don't know, like Clock Tower games or something like that to get remade. As far as games that were not put into English that I would love to get a remake of, I'm sure if I sat there and thought about it, I could, but I don't know. Remake Apocalypse starring Bruce Willis. I would do that, but
Make
I would
an
make it
accompanying
good.
movie, please. I really want to watch that.
Yes, make the movie this time, you cowards.
Make the movie.
I really wanted a sequel to Space Channel 5, and the VR game is coming out this month, so...
Yeah, I have to buy the Japanese version for it, because I have to support my Seiyu. She's the main girl.
You probably get both versions in the same thing. You just have to change the language of your system.
Hopefully.
I feel like
I might have you give me your account login for that then.
Okay.
It's the original actress, right? Or is this someone new?
No, it's someone new.
Okay, so both versions get a new person.
Mm.
They couldn't find Apollo Smile, or she declined coming back.
Yeah, the person that is the main girl for the Japanese side, it's because she is closely tied to the company that is remaking the game. Like that, they use the same Seiyu company. So,
Okay.
plus that girl is a really heavy game otaku, so she appears on a lot of these gaming shows.
Timber, anything from you on that? Any game you want remade?
I feel like my answer to this would be just like very, very obvious because I have a shield up, right? Like I don't know that there are games out there that I can't play in English because I generally am not looking for things I can't play, right? So like I think what was it, Mother 3 from that series that never got released to the States that people have a stick up the butt about. I would certainly want to see that one in English just because I want to know what the fuss is about and I don't want to have to play a fan.
I mean, you can buy a reproduction cartridge in English.
So there's that. And that's the thing, like pretty much anything that I would wanted to play in English, some fan somewhere somehow made it English anyway, and that's perfectly serviceable, so it doesn't really bother me.
I just thought of one. I went Mizurna Falls. It's a Suiri game that has... No, wait, no. Yeah, it's a Suiri game. It doesn't have a translation for it. And then I went Twilight Syndrome and Moonlight Syndrome, which are two Suda51 games that never got English translations, but they're both like obscure horror games. I think Mizurna Falls actually is compared a lot to Twin Peaks-ish, I think. Another one of those, like, they're like, it's Deadly Premonition in a way on PS1, and somehow it's an open world that you can, semi-open that you can, like, you know, wander about. And I'm like, I really want to play this. I really want to play this really bad. But there's no, like, official translated version of it. There's, like, some translations out there, but, like, not, you can't just download a patched, like, ISO of the disc or something like that.
Oh, as of right now, for me, because I've been on a huge Fire Emblem kick, I want the original Fire Emblems to get a remake, or at least a translation.
Oh, like any of the ones we never got?
Yeah, so like the ones that starred Marth and Roy.
Yeah, give us one that had Roy in it at least.
Yeah, Roy's our boy, that's why.
Marth, they've already remade that one. That was Shadow Dragon.
Oh yeah, it was Shadow Dragon. Yeah, so mostly because I've been on a huge Fire Emblem kick lately because of Three Houses. I'm actually going back to Conquest, so...
I could do without any more Fire Emblem for a while, but I'm in a minority there, so...
Yeah. But...
Alright, another question from Black Shotgun. If you guys made a horror game, what would it be about? I would actually like to explore that. I want to do, like, a horror-specific podcast, like one where we only talk about that stuff. Like, so I feel like Ken might not want to be part of it, but I'd like to.
You can
like
do
that would be
do
something
it
I'd
during
like to,
when
like...
I'm in Japan. You guys can do that in the
Yeah.
first week of May.
That'd be interesting to have Fangirl on for that.
Well, like
Which she would think would be a good horror
for
game.
me,
Like-
if I were to make a horror game, like literally just don't have any jump scares for the love of God. Like that's
Yeah,
the thing that
jump scares, or, like,
takes it out for me.
Or you get the one that's like good.
Yeah.
Like the dog jumping through the window in the first Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Which it's a jump scare, but it's not like in your face Five Nights at Freddy's. That's like, because like you know it's gonna happen too. Like you hear the cracking of the glass, and then sometimes you might never hear that dog. Like if you don't go back in there, but then the time it does, you're like, oh shit! And every time you play it, even after you played a long time, you still like get that like rush. You're like, it's a fucking dog again.
Yeah, I feel like this is a question I would really want to brainstorm and have like an actual thing for. I have when I was younger, I had an idea that kind of worked, but it would be very like surface level if I went with that.
And for me, not to have a horror game about inanimate objects coming alive, because that is like my worst nightmare.
I'm gonna send you some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
Oh, well, Five Nights at Freddy's is fine because I've watched all the playthroughs of that.
I mean, that
but,
doesn't
like,
make
for
it,
example,
that doesn't make it any better to actually play.
It doesn't make it any better. It doesn't make it any better to actually go and play it. But so, for example, I hung out with Mujihi the other day, and he decided to watch The Boy, which is a horror movie about a ventriloquist dummy coming to life. And I had nightmares for like the past 3 days. Apparently, it's getting a sequel, so frick me, I guess.
You could always play that top-down Five Nights at Freddy's RPG where everybody like talks in memes.
But isn't that also kind of like Dementic too? Because they have like a bunch of Easter eggs of everything.
I mean, yeah, but like at least the jump scares aren't there.
Oh yeah, at least the jump scares aren't there. I guess I can play the RPG game. Yeah, I'll be what was it? The
Five Nights at Fuckboys, I think, was the official name.
No. That's one of the.
Oh yeah, that was
FNAF World.
That was the fan game. Yeah, hold on. What was the real thing?
Talk about FNAF World.
Yeah,
That's
FNAF
RPG.
World. That's what it is. So.
Right, we have one more question thing there, and I want Timber to read it because I want his voice to read all of Kyoryu's words.
That's an odd request, but okay. There are things that are really irritating in regards to people judging games, like nostalgia, or besides that. People would often call a game great or a masterpiece because they personally liked it, or in case of nostalgia, liked it as a kid. It makes things annoying because you personally enjoying something doesn't automatically make something outstandingly good or a masterpiece. Isn't there just a huge flaw in judging a game purely by how much you enjoyed in when you're discussing a game? It wouldn't matter if it's just for you personal to think a game is great because you loved it, but it would make a lot more sense for people to specifically express that they liked something or loved it or didn't like it instead of saying a game is great, a masterpiece, or sucks, because when I spam the button, it buffers the input, so it's a bad game. What do you think?
There is always going to be a huge flaw in like judging games because it is going to be based on your experience for it. So like how much you liked it, like it's that's going to color it for sure. Like I'll just give an example though of one, like Space Channel 5. I don't care what anyone else says about it. You cannot tell me anything, even a legitimate complaint about that game. I do not care because my nostalgia for that will completely blind me to that because it is a perfect game and you cannot convince me otherwise. On the flip side of that, I really like Clock Tower Ghost Head. It's not a good game. It's not. It was infuriating to play. It's obtuse. Nothing works like it should. In the second act of the game, you have to see every scene in the game without like a list of how many scenes you have or have not. And then the final area is just straight up garbage and terribly designed. I love that game. It's terrible. I cannot recommend it to anyone. And that's the most objective I can get on that. I still like it, and I still enjoyed it, but I would never say it's a good game. I feel like those are the two things to it. Space Channel 5 being my one that nostalgia will blind me, and then Clock Tower, I love it, but I can't recommend it. It's hard to be completely objective about.
No, there's no such thing as perfect objectivity. Anybody who experiences a piece of media is going to see it through the lens of their personal experiences, and that is going to influence ultimately how they judge it. The most objective review you could ever see, I think there's the Centaur Gaming or whatever, that reviewer who tries to do the most objective reviews, and even in those cases, what you look at it from an objective, like, here's this list of things I'm going to evaluate this off of. Music. Well, I really like rock music. So this game that's pure synthwave chiptune, I guess it was well done, but in my opinion, it's hard for me to say because I'm biased towards rock music. Like, there's no way of removing that.
Yeah, and once you make like a set of like, these are the things I will be basing the game off, those are the things you have decided are the only important.
You've
aspects
decided
of the
that's
game.
what's important.
Like you say, story, music, graphics. Well, you've already cut out characters. So characters aren't that important to you. Gameplay is almost like not important to that. So like you've already shown your bias of what's actually important to talk about in the game review. So like you can't even get, you might be subjective about the things you did mention, but you've already been objective, or you might be objective about the things you picked, but you're subjective on the things you thought were important.
That's why, so for me personally, the way that I use reviews, I don't actually use them to gauge like the quality of a game. I think that if you want to gauge the quality of a game, you look at the description that the developers use, you look at trailers, you look at sample gameplay, and you determine for yourself based off of those pieces if it looks like something that you might enjoy. For a review, that to me is more of an experience of seeing how did someone else experience this. I usually use it after I've already played the game. I played the game, and then I look at a review because I want to know what are other people saying about this thing I'm experiencing? Did they like it? What did they think about this thing that I thought about? Did we have the same opinion on that? I'm curious to know what the overall community's opinions on things are, and more experience what their personal experiences were with it. Not necessarily how they evaluated it, but just the stories, like, oh, I was playing this game and all of a sudden the axe head flew off of my character's model and I had to beat the guy with a stick instead. That was super cool. I'm like, wow, that didn't happen in my game. But, like, it's more for the discussion than it is for the buy or not buy. I think that the notion that reviews be used for guiding purchases is kind of ill-advised.
Like, if you're going to use reviews to buy a game, you need to look up
so many. It's almost a waste of time, the amount of effort it would take for you to judge whether or not to throw your $5 at a game based on reviews. Unless you're like Metacritic.
It is interesting though, like that the people who play games will not look up, like they'll think we think it's ridiculous to look up a bunch of reviews and stuff about a $60 purchase, but that's how every other form of media or form of like entertainment or just like anything technology is approached by a lot of people. Like you would look up, are you just going to go blind buy a new 4K TV? You're just going to go store and buy a 4K TV, right? You don't need to look up a review? No, you would not do that. Like you're like, I'm throwing, several $100s at this TV. I'm going to look up a reviews or at least find what's the good one. But then a gaming console, just since like, even if there's like, only one model of like PlayStation, you don't care. You're just going to buy that one. Say it's like technically inferior to everything else that's out there on the market. You could buy a better computer. You're just going to buy it. And gaming, I feel like, is one of the only only industries where this is normal too. To like not trust reviews because everything's so like, I guess, tribal and like personal based. I don't know. Maybe I know it's kind of an offshoot form we're talking about a little bit, but like, isn't that kind of interesting?
It is interesting, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, even if you look at something like movie reviews, it's a lot more. There's less subjectivity available to it because the very nature of gaming is personal. You are personally holding the controller, making it go. You are a conduit for the game to happen. Therefore, it is intrinsically a personal experience compared to anything else that you could be doing, which is another reason why their bias is kind of there.
Did Ken die?
No, I'm like personally thinking about this because I deal with this every single time I have to do a music review, because obviously you're gonna have your own personal take. It's always gonna happen no matter what, whether you liked the game for the characters or nostalgic reasons. Like, for example, I know for a fact that no one is going to care about this one basic ass PS2 game that I absolutely loved, which is called Portal Runner. Had jank controls, had a scantily clad plastic army girl in the cover, but I loved that game because it had a nice ass line. It's
What's it called?
Portal Runner.
Frantic searching.
Oh my god, this looks so bad.
Yeah, no one's gonna care about it, but for me, that game was amazing.
Whoa!
It had, because it was
you see
an
this box art?
Orchard. It was an Orchard game, and at that time I still liked Green Arrow. I love Orchard game. No, that's the old one. There's a new one for the West. This is for the Europe, I believe.
Oh, did I send you the box? Yeah, the European one. It's still...
Yeah, it's still pretty bad. Still pretty bad, and you go fight dinosaurs in this game too. So
It's funny. It's like you didn't point me out to like better art. you put me down the path of worse art, and I'm so happy about it.
But
what is this lion go? What's going on with this lion?
it's your buddy. It's your ally.
Also, the boxes could not be more different. She has more modern-looking clothes on in the European version.
Yeah. So.
Is it time traveling?
Yeah, it's in time traveling. That's what portal. Huh?
Oh my god, I should get this.
Yeah, it's an amazing game that I love, that everyone will riff on because it's such a bad game. But I don't care. I love the archery stuff in the game, and it was amazing. But that's the nostalgia.
$12.
Yeah, $12.
Mint
That's
$12.
It's my god. I wouldn't even pay $12 for it.
Oh,
I would pay
here we
at
go.
least $5.
Okay, here's a complete copy of it for like $8.57.
All right.
Buy this for me.
Will you stream it?
I will. This will be part of those like after I get partnered type of things
Okay.
to play through.
I mean, there's just this.
If I come visit you again, for if you end up getting married, and I go to St. Louis, we'll play this game. I will buy it,
Okay,
and
we'll
we'll
play
play
this.
this game. Kind of like how you will. You will.
I really just want that picture of the lion.
The line. You know what's funny? So it's part of the Toy Soldier line of games.
I
you
could
know, the
tell,
army-
yeah. It's got like
Yeah.
the little
Oh, it
soldier
is,
boy
isn't
on
it?
it.
Yeah. So it's part of that game. It's literally the bookend of that series. And I know why. But, you know, nostalgic aside, always you're going to have your own personal flair on it, and you can't really help it. The thing that I don't like is people attacking other people because it's shit or it wasn't going against your ideals. That's the only thing that I am kind of if about.
I can't believe this is a spin-off of Army Men.
Yeah. It's the ending of the
I would-
story of Army Men because the bad.
Well, like looking at the box, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until much later. Until I played the game and I was like, why am I in a Toy Soldier Army Men thing? Oh, this is the sequel to one of those games.
1 year they released 5 different Army Men games.
Yep.
Oh, they did that all the time.
Yep.
That was normal.
They really wanted that. They really wanted that to take off. And you know, it's kind of funny because I don't know. There's something so nostalgic for me about like early PlayStation 2 graphics that there's a piece of this like I could probably play the worst thing on here and I'd still have a blast with it just because it feels familiar in a way that nothing that could come out these days could. Like you could make the trashiest Unreal Engine game, or you could make the most PS2-esque Unreal game, and it would, I don't know, I'd still be able to tell that it's not quite the right kind of clunky, you know? I like...
Also, in the US version, it had a rockin' theme song in the beginning of the menu. For Portal Runner, anyway.
There's cutscenes? Oh, wait, that's Sarge's Heroes.
Yeah,
Hold
there's
on.
cutscenes!
What?
Yeah, there's cutscenes. Bad early PS2 cutscenes. It's amazing.
I don't know, between this and Sarge's Heroes 2... Does she have a counterpart on, like, the Nazi team? Where it's like she has, like, gray hair?
No, she...
Tan hair?
So basically, they don't run into that storyline of the opposite Nazi part.
Okay.
But they go into different time zones and face like the main guy, the main enemy from Army Men. So it's a 53 on Metacritic. That that's ripening for just good criticism.
There was a PlayStation. Wait, what? So Portal Runner came out in 2001.
Yeah.
It was on PS2.
Yeah.
Army Men World War Team Assault came out on PS1, and that was the that was the World War. I was gonna say more came out on PS1 after
Yeah.
the PS2 game came out.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why.
Why?
Ask 3DO, but 3DO ain't a company no more.
There's probably a good
And
reason
the
for
Game Boy
that.
Color. And the Game Boy Color, not even the Advance, the color.
Hey, don't knock the color. That's my only portable system that's not a Switch. It
Stop
still
it,
works.
Switch is a portable.
God, who owns this stuff now?
Me? I still have the original case.
No. I mean, like this company. Who owns it?
Who owns 3DO?
Rights were sold off to Microsoft, Namco, Crave, and Ubisoft, and also to the founder Trip Hawkins.
Now I'm just going down this like dark alley because I looked up Portal Runner and there's not very much on YouTube for it. So it's just recommending me like random PlayStation stuff now, like something called Nightmare Creatures on the PSX. Like, what is this?
Yeah, see? So would you call
I need that
Portal
game.
Runner a retro game?
Oh, that's retro. Yeah, it's on PS2. My main thought on that is like, at least for systems, PS2, original Xbox, and then Wii, just based on the fact that a lot of Wii games were basically just PS2 games. All those back are retro. And then early 360 games will get like a kind of a weird pass to, because like some games were both on PS2 and on 360 in the first year, and 360 came out in 2005. So, or 2006 or 2005, one of the two. So like that's still 15 years ago. Stuff from that year, but like nothing after. Like Gears of War is not retro. Halo 3 is not retro. Tony Hawk's American Wasteland on 360 retro.
Ooh boy, this is maddeningly bad. It's like it's one of those like things that they did all the time on PlayStation, where it comes out, it's like a beat 'em up, and by beat 'em up it means you're gonna spend like at least 3 minutes just wailing on one monster before moving on to the next one. It's like, holy crap. Like, I've seen this animation at loop at least 15 times. Let's move on, please.
Yeah.
All right.
That is it for all the questions we have. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap up?
Toss it.
Audacity has informed me I only have 95 hours and 24 minutes left of recording, so I don't want to go too long tonight.
Remember to toss a coin to your Witcher, and
I swear to God, Timber, I swear to God. I'm so tired of that goddamn song.
it's so good. It's so good.
Your fan base, like, not yours for TimberTaft, of course not yours for TimberTaft. The Witcher fan base ran that song to the ground within like 2 hours and will never shut up about it.
Yeah, I'm
You made a reference to it in your stream the other day. I like popped in, I heard you make that, I left. That was so much.
people were literally donating bits to me so I could do the coin song. I'm not going to turn that down.
Oh, I see how it is. You only do things for money now. Wow. Thought I
Hey,
knew
it's
you.
gonna
it's
do a
the
cover
Witcher.
for
It's
it
the
on your
Witcher
YouTube?
code. Okay, what?
You gonna do a cover for it on the YouTubes?
I have a partially created cover for it. I just didn't like my cover, so I'll probably end up redoing it if I do make it.
Are you gonna cosplay or Renaissance dress up as one of the bard with the harp and everything?
I'd love to. Unfortunately, my friend with all the Ren gear is not currently in town. That's how I pulled off
Can you do me
the sword video.
Can you do me a favor?
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you do me a favor, Timber? This emote of you dancing in front of the fire, can I have that animated?
Me in front of the... Oh,
It's called Trap.
I think so.
I want an animated version of that.
Yeah, I think I could probably get that just with the exploding background.
Because it looks like everyone's dad. Like the emote just like Oozes dad energy. You want to be an oozy dad?
Sure. I'll dadify that up for you. I just...
Like, honestly, if someone, like, saw both of us and they're, like, they had to pick one of us to be a dad, and they're like, it's probably Timber's the dad. He probably looks like he has kids. That I would also go with that.
Yeah, Timber, you look like you have kids, right?
I'm surrounded by people who are having children, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, my friend just had a kid.
Yeah.
It's
Freshly minted dads everywhere. It's just a matter of time. Time is coming for you. You can't escape. Podasaurus.
All right, you guys have anything before we wrap up? I'm getting the
Me
sleepies.
too. Me too.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. Well, thank you. Oh. All right. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Podasaurus. Let's see. We're going to head on out of here. I honestly just forgot how we end things. Timber, where can people find you?
Hey, if you want to find more things of mine, go to twitch.tv/TimberTaft. That is where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, sometimes Fridays too. Lately I've been doing... I've always been doing RPGs. Lately I've been doing Tales of Vesperia, Deus Ex Human Revolution, and The Witcher 1. If you would like to see my YouTube content, I also do parody covers as well as a bridge series. I don't know how to describe that. And also kind of like reviewy things. That's on youtube.com/TimberTaft.
He plays games but cuts out all like the grindy parts.
Yeah, I cut out all of the bad stuff, so it's just a good thing to watch. And then twitter.com/TimberTaft. That is where you can see my schedule. That's about all I post there. Sometimes puppy pictures. Go follow. Ken, how about you, Ken?
You can find me on my music-based podcast, or Japanese music-based podcast, Ongaku. You can find it on ongaku.com and look it up on the Twitters. I'm also on Twitter at OTYCan1. And also, I forgot to ask this. What are we in the Scooby Gang, Timber?
That's a good question. I totally forgot that was a thing. Well, I think it's obvious to everyone involved who Freddy is in the group.
You?
Okay, I don't actually really know the answers to this. Ken, are you Scooby? Ken, do you want to be Scooby? Are you going to be Scooby here?
Why am I Scooby? Isn't Kyo Scooby? It's his namesake.
Well, I guess you're right. He does ask for dogs, so he's Scooby. Scooby-Dooby Hunter. Ken...
So am I the stoner, or am I the leader, or am I the damsel, or am I the nerd?
None of you are the damsel.
Wow, I'm shook, Kyo.
As the resident connoisseur of all things ginger related,
As the resident Scooby-Doo of the gang who has declared that none of us can be Daphne. Wow.
Timber, you don't look like a Daphne, and neither does Ken.
Okay, fine.
Ken's... Okay, you're Velma.
Who?
Ken,
I'm the nerd.
you can be
okay.
Velma.
Glasses.
Because,
I
like,
can't see without my
honestly,
glasses.
although-
Am I Shaggy? Would I be Shaggy?
Timber's... You're honestly, like, you're Shaggy, but you're actually really just Freddy on the inside.
I'm
Like, you act like Freddy, but you look like
Wow.
Shaggy.
Wow. How does that... Oh, man. That cuts deep. But you know, I'm still better than Scrappy. That puts me well above.
I can see you wearing an ascot, though. I could see you wearing, like, a neckerchief around your neck for a while. I mean, like, it looks nice. We'd be wearing, like, a deep V with it, so you'd look like a douchebag.
Oh my god. No, I don't think I would do the deep V. That is a little bit past my taste. The ascot, though, maybe you're right. You got something there about that ascot. But,
Do it next time you do a video. Alright, did Ken say his thing? You
Ken
said
was
your
all
thing?
Velma.
I
Ken was
forgot
all
who this-
Velma.
No, like the outro stuff.
Ken, did you? I don't actually know if you did.
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. Kyo, did you finish?
No, I haven't started
What?
yet.
Do it.
Alright, and you can find me on twitch.tv/KyoryuHunter. You can find me on Twitter at Kyoryu. You can find me on this here YouTube thing. I'm actually gonna try and get some videos up soon. I was looking at that haunted demo disc thing that came out that's supposed to like kind of emulate the feel of old PS1 games. I did record a couple things just to find out that the second track did not work with my audio, so I have to redo it, which is fine because I stumbled the fuck through a lot of the words I was reading out in that. So it'll probably be for the best, and I can pick a couple of those because there's like 17, but some of them just don't look good. Some of them are just like, there's one called like Neko Yume, like Cat Dream, and it's just...
Wait, what was this? Hold on, I heard Neko.
It's called the Haunted Demo Disc.
Oh, okay, so it's like horror stuff?
I'll send you after.
Weird.
Kind of. It's supposed to like be like PS1 looking games, or like give you the feel of a PS1 game. A lot of them are towards spooky or weird or just like...
So is Neko...
horror. They're not all
is Neko
horror.
Yume like a top-down RPG horror where you play a cat?
No, it's a first-person like exploration
That is
game.
not where I would have pegged that.
Kind of like you walk around. It's more trippy than anything. I don't know if it gets really weird after a while because I did like 15 minutes of it, and it's like you're on day 4. I'm like, okay, I don't know how many days are.
Oh my god, that sounds like LSD
I'm gonna
simulator.
redo that.
I almost said LCD simulator. Ooh.
It's kind of like that. So, I'll hopefully have those up here within the week. I just have to redo all of them, and I'm also gonna try and do a playthrough of Rise of Insanity. I think it's called. I actually forgot. It was a game I got that I need to do a Switch review for, but I don't know if I was supposed to tell you about that. So we'll figure that out. In the post.
But we'll
cut
see
all this
if
out.
the secret stays.
But you can find me on Twitch Monday through Friday. I mainly stream retro games, horror games, weird games, and bad games. Sometimes all of those. Like Tomb Raider, which is a horrible game, and everyone who likes it is wrong.
More like...
But thank you for listening to Podasaurus. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Aloha.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.